The time is 5 p.m. on Monday, March 18th, 2024. This is the meeting of the Redevelopment Commission of Bloomington, Indiana. Could we start with roll call, please?
Deborah Meyerson here.
John West here.
Sue?
Sue Scamillary here.
Deb Hutton here. And Randy Cassidy is absent. Staff present, please.
Anna Hansen, hand.
Christina Finley, hand department.
Larry Allen, legal department.
Jane Cooper-Smith, economic and sustainable development.
Carrie Thompson, mayor.
Any others? Okay. Carrie Thompson, Mayor Thompson would care to address RDC. Please go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to let you know that today I appointed Anna Killian Hansen as our permanent director in hand. She's been doing an amazing job and will continue to do so. And I wanted to let you all know you can look forward to working with her in the future.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yay.
Now, we did a resolution to support you being interim director. Did we do a resolution to support her being director?
We could talk about that. Since you've already named her as director of RDC, I don't know that you'll need to revoke that. We can look into it. I think you've done the sufficient.
Okay. Congratulations, Anna. I think the city will benefit greatly.
I agree. I agree.
Way to go.
I'm grateful to her for her service.
Yes.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, with that good news, thank you, Mayor Thompson. We'll go to minutes. Reading of the minutes for March 4th, 2024, and the executive summary for March 24th, 2024. Any questions or comments from the commissioners? And if not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a first and second. Because we have one person on Zoom, we will do a roll call vote.
Deborah Meyerson, yes.
John?
John West, yes.
Sue Scamillary, yes.
Deb Hutton, yes. Passes unanimously. Thank you. Then we'll have the examination of the claims registers for March the 15th, 2024 for the sum of $588,728.32. Any questions or comments from the commissioners? And if not, I'll entertain a motion.
Deborah Meyerson, I'll make a motion to approve the claim register of March 15th.
Second.
I have a first and second. We'll do a roll call vote, starting with Deborah.
Deborah Meyerson, yes.
John West, yes.
Sue Scamillary, yes.
Deb Hutton, yes. Passes unanimously. The next, we'll do an examination of the payroll registers, for which we need a signed letter of approval.
We
From
got
the-
that this afternoon.
Got it?
This
Great.
afternoon.
This is for the payroll register for March 8th, 2024, for the total of $35,359.13. Do I have any questions or comments from commissioners? If not, a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Thank you. I have a first and second. Let's have a roll call vote, please.
Deborah Meyerson, yes.
John West, yes.
Sue Scamillary, yes.
Deb Hutton, yes. Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Now we'll have a report of officers and committees, starting with Director Killian Hansen's report.
No report, but happy to answer questions.
Thank you. Legal?
Just very briefly, we had on our agenda this evening Resolution 2428, which is approval of a letter of intent. Just in a little bit, we're going to have John Fernandez give a presentation and update, and that item we're going to suggest that you remove that from the agenda this evening and just accept the update because there's been later developments.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Okey doke. Thank you very much. Treasurer's report, please. We can't hear you very well. Just hold on a sec while we turn up volume. There. Could you say hello again, please, Jessica?
A little more.
A little more. Again?
Bit better?
Better.
Put the captions on.
It's really muffled.
Let's say, put the captions on.
Should I go ahead?
No, that's good.
That's
Is that better at the back? Okey doke. Thank you very much, Jessica.
All right, you're welcome. Controller here to give you an update on the fund balances for the Consolidated TIF fund, we started the year with $20.5 million. There's just been a little bit of spending, $690,000 in that fund so far for March. As of Friday, the balance was $619.9 million. There is no activity in the Prowl TIF area in March, and there's a little bit of activity in the RDC fund, which is probably reflected in your claims of $13,931. And the ending balance of the RDC fund is $2.545 million. I also want to just follow up that we do have a lot of encumbrances in the TIF fund, and I know that you have been asking about what is obligated, and Christina and Anna and I will work on getting that to you.
Thank you very much, Jessica. Is there a business development update?
Not at this time.
Thanks. And a Hopewell update?
Deb Coons has a small one.
I see Deb there. Deb Kuntz?
Here I am.
Thanks.
Just a very short update. Demolition continues at Hopewell South, and so it's active, and you'll see them continuing on as they go to the east. We also are starting to talk with IU Health. Many of you may recall with the final agreement, there was still some soil stabilization via the way of planting grass at the legacy site that still needs to happen. So they are targeting that for April. They are starting their due diligence this week on it, and you can expect to see those out there both maybe tearing out old grass and weeds really and planting new grass. So that may be some other activity that you see on the site that is going to be coming soon. So 2 quick updates there. Everything else is going as planned.
May I ask a question, Deb?
Sure.
How's the improved security working? Since we've talked about that over the last 3-4 months, increasing security in different places in different ways.
Yeah.
How's that working?
You know, I'm actually going to pass that up to Anna and see if she wants to answer that. I know we've had some continued incidents, but I haven't heard about them, so I think that they are probably stabilized. But Anna, do you want to take that?
We continue to have incidents at the site, and I think that that's going to be the case until the remaining buildings have been completely demolished.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that our security is doing a great job, and they are helping those that are found relocate. We have yet to start work on securing some of those buildings, but will be shortly, and once that's complete, I think that will also help.
Thanks very much.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Deb, I've got a question.
Sure.
This is actually more related to the Exhibit B that's on, it's on Resolution 2425, which has got to do with vet environmental, but the question is actually a general Hopewell question. That exhibit is just showing how funds are being received, the sources of funds, and then the expenses.
Should we not be talking about that when we're doing?
Well, because this is a general question. This is not about vet. On 714 South Rogers, we're anticipating $75,000 as an estimate of a total expense. Other than what we're going to do for water damage remediation, what else are we needing to? Are we proposing to spend money on?
Well, I think again, I'm gonna share a little bit, but I'll ask Anna to weigh in here as well. But I think as we look at what other boarding up needs to happen at 714, so if you recall, the 75,000 was really the remediation part of it. But the next discussions really are about how should we be doing additional board up of windows or other changing out more locks, getting heavier duty, that kind of thing. So. I don't know, Anna, what else, is there anything else to add to that?
There was a small roof leak that needed to be patched, and then it was the vet contract for the mitigation and then boarding up. And that was, the 75 I think was an estimate, and actually vet's contract ended up coming in much lower than what our initial guess was. So we're not quite there.
Okay, All right, then it's nothing new. All right,
Right.
all right, thank you,
Nothing new.
thank you.
Any other commissioner questions for Deb? And Larry, we don't do public questions for Deb?
That's correct.
Correct. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
New business. Let me go down to,
We're at the.
Who can speak
trade-
to-
The Trades District.
oh, the Trades District, great. So, is this the time for John to report to us on the Trades District?
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioners. As Larry mentioned, we had a late-breaking development this afternoon. It's a good thing, but it's one that puts a little bit of a wrinkle in tonight's plan. So I thought what might be helpful is just to not go into a detailed kind of discussion based on the memo that I sent to the Redevelopment Commission, along with the summary of the 3 LOIs that we had, but rather just give you a very high-level kind of update. You know, we've gone through this process that started almost a year ago, in a couple months, where we made a notice of offering, we published it once we had appraisals from for the city that were done by 2 appraisers, so that we could set kind of a minimum offering price for all the properties that the Redevelopment Commission owns within the Trades District. We put out that offering to lay out a vision of what we're trying to do and how we would envision a process going forward. We didn't make like an RFQ that we want X to be on, you know, this particular use to be on track 1, you know, this use on track 2. But rather was a general bring forward ideas that can help us advance the vision that the city has for the Trades District. We did receive, as part of that, an initial proposal from Allingwood to do a boutique hotel, well, you know, a kind of soft brand hotel at the site. And that sparked a lot of interest. We never really landed on final terms. But in the process of reporting on that, it generated a lot of more interest. And so we spoke to other potential developers and pushed the process to see if we could get, you know, the best possible deal. As of about a week ago, we had 3 proposals, one from Allingwood, one from Pure Development, and one from MHG Hotels Group. Based on those recommendations, we were prepared to you know, lay out all the different terms, answer lots of questions from the commissioners about the, you know, the relative advantages of one proposal versus the other. I felt very comfortable about where we were at coming into the meeting. But about 2:30, let me make sure I don't misquote myself here. Yeah, it was about 2:30. The MHG group sent an updated draft LOI that, you know, I mean, it's significantly better for the city than their previous proposal. But I personally don't think it would be good for us to have kind of a live auction negotiation over this. And so I would prefer that the Redevelopment Commission hit pause, withdraw this resolution, direct me to engage in further diligence with all 3 of the developers, and then come back with a kind of final best proposal that we can bring up in, you know, the next meeting or the, you know, subsequent meeting. That's, you know, 1 to 2 meetings, but put an end to this, because, I mean, like I said, it's a good problem to have. The proposals are getting better, not worse, so I think we're in a strong position, but it makes sense to me to, you know, take some time to really do the diligence and not just react on the fly when we just got this update at about 2:20.
Questions from commissioners?
No, I agree with John.
Sue?
Yeah, thank you for the update and for the due diligence that's been done so far. Could you say a little more about the timetable? I know there are a lot of moving parts to the Trades District. You mentioned a couple meetings before we see another update. How does that affect our overall vision for the Trades District? Do you have any concerns about that?
Not really, because Sue, what I'm thinking is that we could probably just go back and get updates to kind of final best offers by the April, I think it's April 1st would be the next meeting. But at the latest, the April 15th meeting. And since, you know, the construction's moving forward on the forge, that's, you know, going really well. It's, you know, on schedule, no issues there. We have some other proposals that may be coming down the pike for one of the other parcels. So I don't think it'll, I mean, 4 weeks isn't going to make a material change as it relates to this, because in fact, no matter how we move on the hotel project, I mean, we're going to have 60 days to do additional negotiations on a project agreement, kind of the definitive purchase agreement, and then regardless of who the developer is, you know, we're going to have to go through the planning process, and you know, so you know, it's going to take a while to get this thing out of the ground.
Nope, that's what I hope to hear. Thank you.
Thanks, Deborah.
I was curious, in terms of MHG coming back with a revised proposal, do the other proposals now have a chance to do anything? I'm just trying to get a sense of what kind of.
It's up to them. But
Okay,
yeah,
that's fine. I just
yeah.
wasn't sure in terms of trying to close the gate so that the final
Yeah.
discussions can kind of move forward. You know, it's nice again to have people willing to revise their vision for what they can do, but just trying to get a sense of like
And it's
equal opportunity. I guess.
Absolutely, and I think it's also important to have conversations to, you know, what's motivating the change and why now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
I'd like to tag on to Deborah's comment. Was there or will there be, or is there a deadline at which they know there's a cutoff and they can't say, they hear something and they say, oh, I'll put this a little better, or someone heard an idea, I got a new idea. I mean, when does it stop?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to get at. And Debbie, I want to put a date certain, so I'll have that conversation with all three of them and give them a hard deadline.
So there hasn't been one, so now you'll send one out to all three at the same one, same hard deadline,
Yeah.
last minute, send it in, but, okay.
Well, our previous deadline was that we needed to have, you know, a signed proposal by last Wednesday so that we could properly distribute and integrate into the packet for tonight's agenda.
Right.
And so I would anticipate doing the same thing. You know, there'll be a date certain that they have to submit whatever their final best proposal is so that we can properly, you know, provide transparency and public notice.
Is this your final answer?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, thank you very much, John.
No, it's a
Any
good
comments
point.
or questions from the public? Online? Seeing none, thank you so much.
Okay.
And so with us, Mr. Allen, do we just do a proposal to let that resolution go by, or do we do a resolution to let it go by and charge John once again with continuing the process?
I think that's fine. I would say a motion to postpone resolution 2428 until staff brings it back to a future meeting is probably fine, and then you can direct John to continue the negotiations.
Would a commissioner care to make that proposal?
I'll propose that we do what Larry said.
Second. Thank you, Sue. Roll call vote, please.
Deborah Meyerson, yes.
John Novus, yes.
Sue Scambolery, yes.
And Deb Hutton, yes. It passes unanimously. So John, we'll look for your
Okay.
next report.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's see, going to 29. I love the bookmarks. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Christina. Speaking now to Resolution 2429, addendum to the contract for landscape maintenance with Nature's Way. Who will speak to us about that?
I can speak to this one. So every year, not every year, but we've long had an agreement with Nature's Way. They've been the lowest bidder. They were last year again to provide landscaping in the Trades District. And when I say in the Trades District, I actually mean the outside of the Trades District, what we know as the landscaping there around the parking garage, the Trades District parking garage, and also as part of the Showers West portion of this building, which the RDC owns. So that is kind of the parameters of which we're talking here. Last year for 2023, the total of the agreement was not to exceed about $44,000. Those total invoices came in just below that. We received a quote to update it for this year. It came in at about the exact same amount. So we thought that that is appropriate to hold flat for this year. And this is going off of the main contract that we had in 2023 under our controller's office guidelines. We can technically extend that up to 3 years in 1 year increments. What we think though is this will be the last year that we extend it for 1 year, and then we'll put it out to bid again ahead of next year and make sure that they are the lowest bidder, or to give other people a chance to bid on this again. But this does keep the plantings and everything in the trades district. Last year, we did have a little extra expense because there was some tree maintenance that we had to do, for instance. So there are things that come up like this, but this should be ample amount of money to cover that.
Questions from commissioners? When you mentioned Showers West, is that the indoor portion that was added?
It's both. So there's the parking lot area, there's some planters along the parking lot, and then there is some internal planting. So as you go into the lobby of Showers West, there's a planter around one of the main support poles, and so they do the planting.
So that's where the indoor stuff was added?
Exactly.
Because I could see it added, couldn't see where it was done, so.
Yeah, it's only in the common areas, so it's not going into individual offices or anything like that.
And another question, and because we've used Nature's Way for 2 years, going to open it up again, and they were the lowest bidder, does anyone on staff look to sort of examine their work and beauty of their plantings, et cetera, and the appropriateness of the grass cutting at any points along the way to say, good job, or they need to fix that, and they've done it anyway? Does anyone ever check that kind of stuff?
I would say in my experience, and Jane may be able to speak to this a little bit more as well, or Anna. In my experience, yes. And actually it comes a large part from our partners at the Dimension Mill in part. Because they are there every day and that they see what's going on, they don't hesitate to let us know if there's something that looks kind of shabby or out of phase with what we want it to happen. So we'll respond in kind. And Nature's Way has been very responsive to that in the past. And same happened with Showers West. That's one of the reasons why we wanted to get that under this contract, in part because some of the planters were falling off. As you know, CFC has a very robust flower planting schedule that they maintain, and so for us to try to keep up with that, we want to make sure we keep that as professional as possible.
Great.
So this helps us.
Thank you. Comments and questions from the public, if there is any public? Deborah?
I had a commissioner question.
Go for it.
It's just the way that the exhibits are set up. There's something that's, at least in the bookmarks, labeled as Exhibit B, but it's Exhibit A from the previous agreement. And I'm just trying to clarify, because it's basically, I understand replicating the agreement, but there's some stuff that's changed, like,
So the numbers don't lie, I mean, the amounts of money don't lie.
or even who the contact is for the compensation. I don't know, I was just trying to clarify of like having an up-to-date contract as opposed to just recycling the one for last year.
So it's actually, since we're doing an addendum, that contract is still partly in place, but there have been amendments. I was just looking at Exhibit B, there should have been amendments attached to it. So if there are not, I can provide those for the minutes, because there were 2 amendments that you all had executed last year as well to that contract to update some of those terms.
Okay, that's what I was looking for, I guess, and I didn't think I saw it, so I wanted to make sure either if I was missing it where I should be looking, or if it needs to be added, that it's just a complete reflection of what the actual contract is.
And my apologies if those are left out. I intended fully for those to be included along with that main contract.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Subsequent questions from the public? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Deborah Meister will make a motion to approve resolution 24-29 with the fully amended contract.
I'll second.
Thank you. Seeing a first and second, we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Deborah Meyerson, yes.
John West, yes.
Sue?
Keith Cavallari, yes.
Deb Hutton, yes. Passes unanimously. The third resolution we will address is 2430, approval of Duke Energy easements in the Trades District. Who will speak to us about that?
Chris? Okay. Hi, I'm Chris Cioli. I'm with Weddle Brothers Construction. We're the construction manager on the Trades District Forge project. So what we're asking for, or Duke is asking for, in order to get electrical service into the new facility, They need to come, they need a easement on the parcel located across from Acres Way, just a small band to get the utility to where it needs to be so it can come under the road and then feed the new facility. They will come down the alleyway and put the infrastructure in place in the new designated alleyway for future growth and expansion, so it's there. If it gets paved eventually, it's already set up for that. Also, it allows for the new transformer to be placed on a pad that can service the other facilities as well. So it's strategic planning for future growth, but also is a must-have for the facility that we're building.
Commissioners, questions?
Just that there's an edit at the bottom of the resolution, number 3. It talks about RDC President Donald Griffin, so just that would need to be corrected.
We've corrected that as amended to name Deb Hutton as the president.
Thank you.
Other commissioners' questions?
This isn't going to impact our access across the easement. I mean, there's just,
No, it's, they put out, there should be in the attachment, it's a very narrow
yes, the
strip.
I saw
Yeah.
it drawn.
And it shouldn't have any impact on this, just a standard Duke utility easement that, how they have to feed to the site.
So it'll be grass over top?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we won't, public won't be able to see what's going on underneath.
Correct, it's
They have-
subgrade.
Okay.
Open questions for whatever public is around or attached? Seeing none, could I entertain a motion, please?
Deborah
I'll
Myers,
move approval of resolution 2430, C. Scammalerian.
Deborah Myerson, I'll second.
I have a first and second. Could I have a roll call vote, please?
Deborah Myerson, yes.
John West, yes.
C. Scammalerian, yes.
Deb Hutton, yes. Passes unanimously.
That's correct.
So back to agenda. General business, business and general discussion, is there any? From anyone? Next meeting is Monday, April the 1st, 2024. And if anything else, I could entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, everyone.
You get out of the cold now.